Okay, heat is off. So this is a Vector CP1 copy. It was in electric blowback. I got it off of eBay. I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to make it into another Korben blaster, but this time I'm going to put in a blaster core because the airsoft functionality is kind of pointless since I already have a gas blowback version of it. This is a 5-volt solenoid. I'm going to try to make the slide cycle, or at least this part cycle. I got the idea from the K blaster from Blade Runner 2049.
Basically, I put a little piece in there so that when it fires, there's a little we can get a little something. I know it seems.
Oh, it's electromagnets. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
It cycles whenever you pull the trigger, so I kind of want to try to do that. I also have a voltmeter, which should be the correct dimensions for that stuff right there. So hopefully it'll give me some numbers that will do stuff. I already started harvesting some pump greebles for those things. I got some LEDs coming. I'm getting a couple of LEDs for these parts, and I want to see if I can make this side like a push button, because TCSS sells the 5mm version of this particular bezel, but it's got an embedded tactile switch in it, so hopefully I can put the aux there. And it's already got a couple of different controls on here at the side of the trigger. Like this part right here, I can make the main power. And then I got this thing right here, which is kind of like a dead man switch for the electronic functionality of it. Figure I can make that the magazine, so that it can be like magazine in, pew pew pew, magazine out. Additionally, I can make that like a cocking sound, so it can do that Hollywood thing. Whenever you pull a gun on somebody, it automatically cocks it. So maybe I can do that. I have these, which are little lasers. I want to see if I can stick that in here so that there is some way to aim it and it'll emit red light. Anyway, that's the plan, and I'll update you when I have some more done. Okay, so quick update. I got a good amount made. Temporary battery connection. It's a 5-volt solenoid, but I'm overdriving it a little bit. But got it to basically work in the sense that that's all it's going to do. I mean, there's going to be a flash and a sound and stuff also, but that's all I'm looking for, really. I mean, it's only a 1 centimeter throw, so it's not like we really get a dramatic effect or anything like that, but that's fine. Alright, so I decided that this is a good place for an update. I haven't painted it yet, but I got the shell completed. I have the solenoid mounted on there instead of that acorn there. It'll be screwed into that, and I made a little tool to screw it on, because when it's on, you won't be able to actually access anything. Use this little tool to actually screw it in, and then this little ball thing. What the hell is this? It's so weird. This will get mounted directly to the solenoid because there are some pre-drilled 3mm holes in there, which was handy. That'll stay put while this thing cycles underneath it. These are 3/4 inch cabochons. I tried using 7/8 inch, but they're just a little too big. The switches, this is going to be the magazine, so that when you grip it, magazine in. This is the trigger. There was a whole bunch of stuff in here, but I had to clear out a whole bunch of real estate just so I could have room for everything. Main power, another switch. So you can access this through the trigger guard, and it's just on this. Hopefully it'll work better when it's actually together. Anyway, so that's this. The handguard is glued to one side. I gave it an extra inch here so that I could fit 2 hands in there. That was one of the big complaints about the airsoft version, was that I didn't leave enough room inside here to have 2 hands in there for a 2-handed grip. The shell, I have an access door here, mounted on a magnet, so that just bloop, slots in. Here's the speaker hole. Speaker will get mounted right. Yeah, what is that? 6 plus 5, 11 millimeters of resonator, so that should be enough. But the whole thing is that the rest of it will be enclosed, so hoping it'll sound good. That's the slot for the voltage meter. I haven't decided if I want to put it on the main battery or if I want to put it on the LED, because I want it to do stuff instead of just being a static as soon as you turn it on. This is one of the lasers. I had to take apart something else in order to get a mount for it. Ooh, perspective. It should fit flat and point straight across. Seeing as how I won't actually have anything shooting, it'll just be a laser. So it doesn't need to go anywhere in particular, it just needs to go out. The LED bezels, this one is just straight 5mm LED, and then the other one is actually tactile switch, and that'll be the aux for the other side. I still have to glue this down and then contour the top and radius it, because right now it's all blocky. I got to basically put in a whole bunch of leads and then tuck them in and then glue this down, and then I can radius the top. The way the gun gets fitted is, let's see if we can do this. There's a little block right there. That's where the gun knows to stop. So then when it goes in, it gets mounted via 3mm screw that goes in right there, and then another one on the other side. That way it's removable so that I can actually take it apart in case I need to do something with it later on. And the only quote-unquote maintenance that I would have to do would be like change any of the configuration settings if I needed to. So the battery will be glued in. All the switches hopefully won't betray me later on. Same thing with the solenoid. Oh yeah, this little fin thing. I didn't put that on the airsoft because I thought it would get in the way. It doesn't get in the way, and the gun itself actually has that weird kind of cutout thing there. It's pretty much I just traced that out so that like this will go just like that. Next thing I did to do would be to start wiring all the leads, and then glue this thing on, and then contour the top, and then get everything ready for painting. Okay, update. I went ahead and painted it, started the install. This is just the blaster core mounted. There are a couple of bus bars. That is the main negative bus bar, and there's another one down there, which is the 3.3 bus triangle stuff right there. That's main flash or the main LED. So the main LED and the solenoid are gonna get hooked up to that. The door still fits. Thankfully, I melted a little bit of it right there while I was soldering, but still fits, and it stays in place because that one magnet is plenty to hold it in place. Speaker down there is all mounted and partially painted too because it caught some of the paint. Here is the bottom half, but I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with all the wires. I still haven't decided where I'm gonna put the recharge port, presumably in there somewhere, but it's getting to the point where I kind of have to make a decision, so it's probably just gonna have some sort of mount in there. Shrug. So, but this, everything is working. That's working. Ugh, shit. It was working, that thing right there, but I think I got a little bit of paint on it. So now it's just being a little bastard. Come on. So I'll grease that up a little bit. So we'll pick that up again next weekend. Hopefully everything still works. We'll see what happens and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, I'm done talking now. Okay, so here it is finished, and honestly, this is probably one of the funnest things that I've made in a while. Even though like 100% of my leisure time is making stuff to be fun, this is actually one of the funner ones. Everything is working the way I wanted it to. I currently have it turned down right now. I've got two sound fonts. They're actually the same sound font, but one is the louder one is the quieter one, just like with the Transformers guns. But here's the magazine switch. Got good reciprocation on the solenoid. The only downside is that there's a little bit of a clack when the solenoid hits a little bit too harsh. But I can get over that. That's not a big deal. All the sound fonts, or all the sounds, I should say, are working just fine. The voltage meter, I wanted it to move, and it actually does stuff. The voltage varies when you're playing with it. I just hooked it up directly to the main power into the blaster core, and that's what you're seeing. It's actually counted down. It started at like 8.4, which is expected for a 7.4 volt pack. So I'll probably charge it again sometime soon, but either way, I'm still getting the same full output out of it, even though it is turned down. The speaker sounds great the way it is. The enclosure did a really good job of capturing the meaty part of the sound. If we were to open this, you can see it sounds a lot more hollow. Closed up, it sounds pretty good actually. I deliberately changed the greeble configuration here specifically so that there wouldn't be as much blockage, because otherwise there would have been like stuff in the way, more stuff in the way. There's a couple of different versions that some have the aluminum plate here, some don't. But either way, they all have that knurled section, and they're actually a lot bigger. And well, you can see that it unscrews. This is just a DIN plug, and I took the parts that actually screw together. The laser that I originally had planned for didn't actually work. But I did get a laser out of it. That thing right there, that brass looking piece, that's actually the leftovers of this thing. This was like a $5 laser that I got off of Amazon. It works pretty well. The main LED is a Lux 3 red orange. And back in my early lightsaber days, that was one of my favorite LEDs. Can't beat the classics. The aux button, this is specifically for just the menus and for selection of the different sounds. I didn't feel the need to actually put the reload function on that, seeing as how that right there is literally just the reload and the magazine, so it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to have this be that also. So I just kept it as the menu functions.
Audio player.
Hi, I'm Korben Dallas.
This is the louder font. I don't know if you can tell, but that menu sound, Bruce Willis's voice actually cracks when he says, "I am Korben Dallas." Listen to it again, it's pretty funny. You can see there's a little bit more drain because of the increased volume and power consumption. Another added benefit is that, like, because it's louder, that little clack in the solenoid isn't as noticeable. Checking my notes. The recharge port is right there. It's not wired as a kill, specifically because I got the kill right here, and if I'm going to be recharging it, I'm obviously going to have it off. I did not include the red dip switch. On the actual prop, there was a red dip switch here that would presumably turn it on and then turn on the counter also, but honestly, I didn't need it because as far as controls, I had all the controls that I was hoping for, so I didn't really need it. And on top of that, it kind of stuck out. It really didn't go with the flow of everything. And now that I look, there's not a whole lot of room that would have accommodated it anyway, because like this part ended up being a little bit big. This is all Sintra. I think these are nylon discs, some acrylic in there. These are acrylic discs and stuff, and aluminum. There's some brass inside here. So as far as materials, there's a whole plethora of different things, but it's mostly Sintra. Cabochons are resin. Yeah. The flash is nice and brief, and I specifically had to do that in order to get the solenoid to behave properly. And it goes well with like a gunshot, with an E11, with an Autobot blaster, and of course a Plector blaster. Yeah, you can see the counters already. Oh, they're going back to 7. Anyway, so in conclusion, it's super fun, and I've been having a lot of fun with this. That's the ZF-1 in single shot. It sounds kind of funny, not in full auto, but that's fine. Love it. All right, and that's my Korben blaster. Okay, see you later. heat is going. Hold on, I gotta turn that off. Somebody's barking outside. Or rather, somebody's dog is barking outside. Just some dude is barking outside. Glad, not glad, I don't know. Just moving on to the next topic.